Robotboy is a classic cartoon and one of the most loved ones. It has a total of 2 seasons and 52 episodes, and in this video we're going to talk about it and explain it in detail from start to finish. So let's get right into it. Robotboy was created by Professor Moshimo, a well-respected scientist and part-time inventor. And this here is Tommy Turnbull, a blonde, square-headed kid. He is smart, responsible, sensitive, likable, and acts as a mentor to Robotboy. He tries to teach him the ways of the world through his eyes and how to act and behave as a regular boy to be able to fit in society.
I gotta go to school. What are you gonna do? Take day off. Gee.
But how did they end up together? Well, Tommy, who admires the work of the infamous Professor Moshimo, one day decides to send him a letter of anticipation for his upcoming invention. As a result, Professor Moshimo decides to send him his project, so-called Robotboy, to take care of. Taking place in San Francisco, we follow Tommy's day-to-day life with Robotboy as they deal with school, teaching, and training Robotboy how to fit into society as a regular boy. To give you a brief overview of Robotboy's physical appearance, he is a shiny light blue-grey robot with a round-shaped head, cyan eyes, his ears are metallic blue, his hands are blue with darker fingers, and he has tube-shaped feet. He is very naive and very easily led. Robotboy himself is pretty cool, playing into the fish out of water trope with very little understanding of the world and his surroundings, filled with questions of how things are and why they are. He is overprotective of Tommy and his friends. On more than one occasion, he's been openly willing to do anything to keep each of them safe, and if Tommy ever orders him to stop, no matter what he's doing, he'll instantly stop. However, when things come down to the wire, he's often the first to react and has a fair understanding of his surroundings and circumstances. Robotboy can be activated between 3 different modes. Deactivated, where basically he acts like the toys from Toy Story when a human walks into the room. Activated, which being the standard mode has him talking, walking, and the availability to a limited number of his abilities, like flying and combat. But then there is super activated mode, where in which things get turned to 11. When Robotboy becomes a larger, more powerful version of himself, slamming his hands together to activate this mode, he gains a larger arsenal of weapons, but he is no longer able to speak. The dynamic between the two is very fun to watch, which is basically what makes the show so interesting.
Ew.
Their relationship honestly reminds me of a father and son one, or perhaps it could be said that it's more brotherly. Along Tommy and Robotboy, during the show we see Gus, Turner, and Lola, which are their very good friends and are characters that are very well different from each other. Gus is, well, the best word to use is Gus. Gus is Gus, or the self-proclaimed G-Man. He's an overweight, weak-willed, and selfish kid. He loves playing pranks on people. Most of the time they go wrong, but he's still persistent. His family is Amish, so it could be said that he acts out just because he isn't allowed to usually do normal kid stuff at home. So yeah, he can sometimes be a lot to handle.
I ate all your candy!
I mean, in which world can Tommy and Gus even be friends? 2 drastically different people enjoying each other's company? I guess in the Cartoon Network verse, they work out. Jebediah Turner is Gus's old, strict, and morally upright father. Unlike Gus, he and his wife Hester Turner are Amish and forbid things such as technology, which probably resulted in Gus's obsession with video games. When he's around them, he acts well-behaved and respectful, unlike his true mischievous self. On the other hand, Tommy's parents are, well, the complete opposite. His father, Dwight Turnbull, is an assertive person, always trying to get Tommy to play sports, so as not to be a girl. He dislikes Tommy's interest in toys and robots, and thinks of Robotboy as dumb. He was once even seen grinning cruelly when he thought he had an excuse to throw Robotboy away. He's a big jerk towards Tommy and prefers Donnie. Donnie, by the way, is Tommy's brother, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Their mother, Deb Turnbull, along with shared appearances, she and Tommy have almost identical personality traits, in that they're both the only 2 in the family with good hearts and at least normal intelligence, comparing to Donnie and Jebediah. Despite being of normal intelligence, she can still sometimes make rather oblivious mistakes herself, due to her rather naive nature, and has been shown to be driven sugar crazy after eating cookies.
Oh, these cookies are wonderful! Give me all you got.
Lola Mbola is a 10-year-old blue-eyed girl, a daughter of a wealthy African ambassador, otherwise known as Ambassador Kingsley Mbola. She's obviously a very well-educated, mature, and intelligent girl. Despite her young age, she can somehow fly jets and drive speedboats, among many other surprising skills. Even though she's not making it very obvious at first, she has a huge crush on Tommy, but is very secretive about it, and well, Tommy being the character he is, doesn't even seem to realize that she has these feelings for him. Much like the relationship between Tommy and Robotboy, their female extended family, or perhaps companions, Lola and Robot Girl share a very similar, if not identical and playful relationship. Robot Girl is like the feminine version of Robotboy, with a skin and body much wider than his. She has eyelashes, her ears and eyes are pink, her hands, feet and skirt are light pink, and if you are colorblind by chance, you can recognize her by the big pink bow on her head. She has an interesting persona, often portraying herself as playful, curious, kind and cheerful. She's also known to like to play games with her friends, such as tag, and unlike Robotboy, Her Majesty can do certain things that he cannot, such as think with her emotions.
Those sweet little light-emitting diodes of yours.
Robot Girl first appeared in a titular episode, where Professor Moshimo invited Robotboy to stay with him while Tommy was camping with his family. He created Robot Girl so that he would have someone to play with. She and Robotboy there began their friendship. Although they got into trouble a couple of times, like eating ice cream and creating a big hole in the roof of the house, the real trouble didn't start until they were both captured by Kamikazi, where we can see him partially reprogramming Robot Girl.
Hi, Kamikazi. You so handsome.
Oh no! Kamikazi? Who is he? A villain? In fact, he's the biggest villain of them all. The one we see constantly throughout the show. Kamikazi, or otherwise known as Dr Kamikazi, is not a doctor or a very good villain actually, but this odd little man is a self-proclaimed evil genius who has a lust for power and dreams of achieving world domination. Kamikaze's ultimate plan is to kidnap Robotboy so he can copy his design and create an army of superbots to help him take over the world.
He must have Robotboy, Konstantin!
Villains, am I right? What else could you expect by them? Do you know what he also did? One night, when he was in his lab and as an adduct clone, he created Stevie. Who is this new Stevie character now? When Stevie was created as an adduct clone, he ran to hug Dr. Kamikazi and called him Dada. Dada! Dada! Kamikazi immediately rejected him after he did this, despite Konstantine's request to keep him as a pet. Kamikazi told Konstantine to throw Stevie into the garbage, where he got mutated by lasers and grew bigger and stronger, seeking revenge on his creator. Anyways, so now that you know, let's get back to the Robot Girl and Robotboy story. So, as I was saying, the real trouble didn't start until they were both captured by Kamikazi and he partially reprogrammed Robot Girl. After Kamikazi learned that Robot Girl didn't know how to fight, Tommy tried to convince Robot Girl to superactivate, but she didn't know how. Then all of a sudden, she heard Professor Moshimo explain how to use her superactive mode and help Robotboy get them all out of the trap.
Think about never seeing your friends again and feel that power. Feel it, Robot Girl.
Another relative to Robotboy and Robot Girl is the infamous Protoboy. Protoboy is one of the first robots created by Professor Moshimo and is the elder brother of Robotboy, Robot Girl, and Robotbird. Robotbird, unlike real birds who don't speak and use their wings to fly, can talk and fly with a propeller on top of his head. Protoboy was stolen by Dr. Kamikazi so he could rule the world, but he accidentally made him too evil, so he had to be shut down after he went on a rampage. Years later, after hearing about Protoboy, Robotboy, being sad that he had no family of his own other than Robot Girl, traveled to Kamikaze's lair and reactivated Protoboy and even tried to turn him good again, but to no avail. Hey, heck, I'd be happy with one sibling. Look at Robotboy looking for another. Looks like Tommy's rubbing onto him with all of that human nature being shown here. Protoboy was seemingly destroyed in an explosion, but he would later make several comebacks down the line, being determined to destroy Moshimo and the rest of his robots. Another common relative other than Professor Moshimo, their creator and all, they all have an older brother, Robot Man. Unlike his siblings, he only shows up once during the whole show. Robot Man is an adult version of Robotboy, but he hates Robotboy with everything he has, stating that Robotboy is obsolete when he comes around.
Face it, little toy. Why don't you just leave? You're no longer needed here. Robots don't have friends.
He's shown to be even stronger and faster than Robotboy. In fact, he can fly around the whole world in just a few seconds. During the episode, he shows basic combat skills, and we can even see him firing rockets from his chest. During his introduction, he was shown to have electricity beams coming from his hands, blades he can use for lifting things, and a horn in his hands. He has a self-defense mechanism, which is body armor. He uses this mechanism to prevent Tommy from using him to find Robotboy. He even has a super activation mode. Perhaps his most unorthodox power is the ability to self-activate, which allows him to activate while he's deactivated, making this a fun fact by being the only robot built and created by Moshimo to have this kind of ability. In this episode, he also tells Robotboy to leave Tommy forever, and of course Robotboy doesn't listen to him. Because of this, he later becomes obsessed with destroying him when he returns, but he eventually ends up being defeated. In some other parts of the show, we meet a kid named Bjorn Bjornsson. He dresses really nicely in a fancy suit or tuxedo, and he looks very neat and put together. But here's the surprise. Even though he seems like a well-behaved and good-natured young man on the outside, there's more to him than meets the eye. Bjorn was one of Professor Moshimo's students and at one point a student at the Gottenhimmel Academy for the wealthy and smart. Bjorn's character is portrayed as impolite and quick to lose patience with people. He displays a big ego and arrogance, constantly thinking he's superior to Moshimo and Robotboy. Because of this, one day, he decides to create a robot duplicate of himself, giving it powers equal to those of Robotboy. This decision only makes him more villainous and determined to prove that his creation is superior to Robotboy. This is the part where we meet his evil robotic twin, Bjornbot. As the term twin suggests, he looks similar to his creator Bjorn, except he has bluish metal skin and his eyes are cherry red. His power is shown to be comparable to Robotboy's, to the point where he can even super activate. Wow, now that's crazy. He shows basic combat knowledge and is also pretty athletic. In a few episodes, he was shown to be able to fly without thrusters. Also, in a later episode, he was shown to have fire breath and a rocket launcher cannon. Another fun fact about him is that he could survive without his head, and in the show, it was implied he runs on batteries. But hey, who knows what's going on with these villains anymore? Another reoccurring villain, I guess, is the renowned, drumroll please, Klaus von Affenkugel. Affenkugel lives a life that is both blessed and cursed. He's obscenely wealthy to the degree he has his own form of currency.
I'm so wealthy I can invent my own currency.
He lives in a large castle and could afford to buy the very best of everything, yet desires the one thing his money cannot truly buy, a strong body. We find out that Klaus was born with an incredibly weak body that never grew past the size of a small child. His limbs are all thin and warped. He is so physically lacking he can barely lift a pen to paper and cannot eat food that has not been pureed. He is in constant need of 24-hour care by his servant, henchman, nurse orangutan, whatever you want to call him, Ludwig, who carries him around in a chest harness like a baby. Cruel and unsympathetic to his sad condition, Klaus has been bullied both mentally and physically by adults, children, and animals alike. Even squirrels will throw acorns at him for no reason other than to torment him. Affenkugel has dedicated every penny he has to attaining real strength and is willing to disregard the law to do it. Having found Professor Moshimo, he begged the man to build him a strong robot body, but Moshimo said that he could not do it at the time because he was moving, so he decided to take things into his own hands. Lance Chesswax is another weirdo in the show, but unlike Ludwig and Klaus, we only see him once. He's an arrogant TV star, hosting the show Chop, one of Robotboy's favorite TV shows, along with his partner with the same name until he was betrayed. He was also shown to be a womanizer until his true self was revealed. I mean, come on guys, did you run out of ideas on how to name characters in the show? Lance okay, but Chesswax? Come on! Lance Chesswax has blonde hair and wears a white undershirt, a black jacket, and blue skinny jeans. But things aren't as they appear. In reality, his hair is fake, and he's shown to be partially bald with parts of white hair on the sides. He's actually pretty fat too, and his teeth are fake. Oh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this guy is a major Glory lookalike. Speaking of lookalikes, this next guy we have lined up actually kinda reminds me of Monkey from Dexter's Laboratory, but only smaller? Maybe I feel this way because they're both monkeys, I don't know. Anyways, his name is RoboMonkey. There is not much we know about this character except that he was built by Tommy from the remains of Donnie's old computer as a present for Robotboy. However, when Tommy went to school one day, because of Robotboy reminding him of Donnie, RoboMonkey went berserk and became an annoying house wrecker, making a huge mess in Tommy's house. When Tommy returned from school, Robotboy kicked RoboMonkey away, only to be found by Dr Kamikazi and Constantine. Kamikazi then proceeded to make him the mascot for Kaziland, but RoboMonkey took control over his car and went on his rampage. What happened to him afterwards is unknown. Okay, so this next part might sound a bit confusing, but we have a new introduction. The names of these characters are weird and might sketch you out, but here it goes. The Robo-Boys are clones or actually knockoffs of Robotboy. They look exactly like him, but they are available in a variety of colors, unlike the OG character himself. And I'm talking red, green, orange, yellow, pink, purple. What we know is that they were sold at the electronics hut, and were so popular even the villains of the show bought them. As clones of Robotboy, they are perfectly equal to him in power, but are very unstable, ranging from going berserk and having a short battery life, to exploding right after superactivation. After some digging and doing some nerd research, I actually found out who bought them and how many. Gus Turner, 1 pink Roboboy. Klaus von Affenkugel, 1 green Roboboy. Special Agent, 1 yellow Roboboy. And just try to guess who bought a boatload of them. Well, of course, the infamous Dr Kamikazi, buying only 66 red Roboboys. He spent $59.95 a pop, ending up with a bill just short of $4,000. Or to be very precise, the exact number comes out to 3,956.7 USD. And for you EU citizens, that's about 3,700 euros. Or to be precise again, that's 3,737 euros and 50 cents. Anyways, we've now made it to the end of the video, but as a send-off, let's go through all the characters appearing in the series. Villains: Felonious Hex, Special Agent, Brainiac, Brian the Consultant, General Yakitori, Mr. Yashinsky, Principal Culpepper, Vance Cosgrove, Anti-Gravity, Bandana Bandito and Harry the Spleen Crusher Jackson, Dogra, Evil 17, Green Alien Minions, Guap, Princess Justine, Screaming Scott, Smothers, Sub, The Two Old Thieves at the Museum, The Green Alien, Waitress Lady, Walter the Tapeworm. Robots: Bambibot, Constabot, Crulio, Nagbot, Monolethal, Ogbot, the Assassin Drone, the Castbot, the Super Activation Exoskeleton Belt, Toast, Yakitori's Battle Mechs. Bullies: Kurt, Lenny, Mookie, Stu. Minor characters: Ambassador's Butler, Farmer Stanky, Meal Meal, Romcroft, Ronald Rump, the Doctor, the Elderly Woman, the Tour Guide, the Human Fist, the Inhuman Toe.